I want you to join me on a little bit of a journey through America's heartland to hear from actual business owners, actual citizens, actual hard-working, tax-paying Americans, what they're going through right now and what they've been experiencing over the last couple of years. This goes beyond the page. This goes beyond the polls, beyond the analytics. This is real. This is authentic. You can hear it from the horse's mouth. Kamala Harris, you're not fooling anybody. I promise you, if you watch this entire video, it will be worth every second of your time.
How hard has inflation hit you?
It hit me hard. It's hitting me hard.
What do you blame for it?
I blame the federal government at this point. If a working class mom who works as a paralegal cannot buy a $2 bell pepper because it's now $5, imagine a mother living on food stamps. Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children. They're killing us without killing us. If you understand that. They're killing us without telling us they're killing us. They're hurting people in ways that they can't help themselves. It's either feed my child or how about feed my children and I don't, but I have to go work.
Who feels as if black voters are taken for granted, i.e. they make you promises and they don't deliver?
Absolutely heartbreaking. The fact that any American has to choose between their kids, feeding their kids, keeping their kids alive, or themselves alive. This is supposed to be a superpower nation, the greatest country on earth, the most modern, the most sophisticated, the most plentiful nation on earth. And we have our own citizens who are literally choosing between themselves and their kids, and we're giving away everything to illegal migrants. We're giving away everything, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars to fund forever wars, should make every American sick. Not only that, not only is it affecting parents making a decision between them and their kids, take a look at this clip right here. It's also a choice between you and your pet.
Haas is a Lapine Meals on Wheels driver who helps deliver pet food and supplies every month. He says folks will often sacrifice eating their own meals to give to their pets.
Traditionally, older adults are on fixed incomes, and so when your house prices are rising, when your food prices are rising, you have to make decisions, and sometimes that decision is either that you cannot support your pet, or some people will decide that they won't support themselves in order to be able to support their pet.
Well, Naz, you're just biased, Naz. You're just showing me stuff that, perpetuates your cause and advocates for more right-wing, propaganda. Oh, really? Well, check out this news report from one of Kamala's allies. Yes, NBC, the woke fake media. Even they can't hide the brutal, glaring fact that this economy over the last 4 years has been an absolute calamity of epic proportions.
This is before, right when the pandemic was striking. I mean, look, you had home loans at 3.5%. I mean, right? Car loans, 5.2%. Credit card interest rates, which are always terrible. Look at where they are today. So the idea of the Fed cutting interest rates would be these numbers would start to come down. You can see mortgage rates have already been falling in anticipation of the Fed cutting rates. They'll likely continue to fall. A lot of really smart people I know say you're going to have a 5 number there sometime maybe early next year, or even late this year. So for those people who are looking to buy a home, if you can find one in this tight housing market, or trying to refinance more likely, if you've recently bought, that's going to be the first place you're going to see the effects of lower interest rates.
So how bad did things get? Do you have numbers for, because we talked so much about how, I just said it a second ago, how expensive it is to go to the grocery store. We know gas prices are falling, which is great. So tell us about what we saw in the improvements.
I mean, when you look at the vibe session, people feeling terrible about the economy, this is why. You had housing inflation, 8%. Gas prices at the worst were up 41%.
All that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, that is called Bidenomics. That is called Bidenomics, and we are very proud of Bidenomics.
This is a very, very important clip from a small business owner in Georgia talking about how his small business, over what's happened and these policies initiated by Kamala and Biden, have absolutely destroyed his business and worse. Check this out.
Business is down. People have less discretionary income.
In battleground Georgia, inflation's deflating.
Brad Cunard owns Little's Food Store in Atlanta, part neighborhood grocery, part grill.
Have you lost customers?
I've lost a lot of customers, yeah.
Inflation has kicked a little guy like you pretty hard.
Really hard. We've been kicked all over the curb.
Over the last 5 years, America's food prices jumped nearly 27% for consumers like Donnie Jones.
It's us not holding our leaders accountable for making sure our economy is doable and safe for, middle class people.
Take this basket of groceries.
So, what's the damage?
$55.24.
5 years ago, that would have been $12 less?
Yep.
So, the wine has to go if you want to stay on budget.
Absolutely. Okay. Which is not as much fun.
Inflation's cooled, now at 2.5%. But since 2019, eggs up 126%, bread up 54%, milk up 30%.
All that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, that is called Bidenomics.
This, to me, could be the deal breaker for Kamala Harris. This is the dam breaking. This is the infrastructure, the entire base, saying, you know what? You can pretend that you have a black accent. You could pretend that you're Mexican. You could pretend that you're Latin. You can fake that you actually give a damn. You can phony up Oprah. You can phony up your celebrity friends. But we're real Americans. We're not out of touch, out of our depth, billionaire, millionaire rock stars and celebrities who have their own private security, their own private walls. I've never seen the inside of a grocery store in 2 decades. We are real, true blue Americans. This is a must. I'm telling you, tap that thumbs up. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps us get our video pushed out to more people. We have to inform our fellow citizens. Watch this.
Hand up if you think the economy is better under Trump. And hands up if you think the economy is better under Biden and Harris. Why? Okay, 7-1. That's pretty clear.
Is it true? I'm not saying he's like, of course, yeah, like I do say, he has best. He still has a business mindset. I think that lended somewhat. And I think, yes, the trickle down of whatever previous stuff. And I think he just handles certain things a little better.
Who does?
Trump.
Les?
He provided more jobs, more opportunities, similar. Even though he didn't have any experience in politics, but he came in and did a much better job. And if you look at the statistics now, we're far more worse now than we were before.
Firstly, I just want to ask a general question about Harris, then we're going to show some clips for the debate. What's your biggest hesitation about voting for Kamala Harris?
Just, is she going to be able to do the things that she says she's going to be able to do? That's, you know what I mean? Just, is she going to be able to do it? That's my biggest hesitation. Just, is she going to be able to get it past Congress? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yep. You know.
Mikhail, how about you?
Everything that glitters ain't gold.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks great on paper, but I'm not sure if it'll translate to politics and if she'll even be able to get it passed.
Haywood?
My thing is her strength. That's my focus for her. Is she going to be able to take a punch and give 1 or 2 backs? That's my biggest thing. And it has nothing to do with her gender, ladies, okay? But we talking about the highest office in the land.
Yeah. If it was Michelle Obama, I would feel totally different.
Yeah, You can't be weak and hold that office.
Yeah, like if you put her next to Michelle Obama, it's like...
Or Hillary Clinton.
Or Hillary Clinton, it's like it's no comparison on the strength that I think Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton would have against her. They would eat her up.
How did Harris come across then? How did she do up against him? Haywood says that, big personality. How did she do? How did she come across?
She kept saying that she's a warrior and she's going to fight, but I don't know if you're as strong as... I mean, I get it, what you feel, but I don't think you are as, like, a warrior, like, fighter, like she says she is.
Right.
That's just my opinion. Not that I don't think she doesn't care, and like I said, she used a lot of appealing to emotion, like anecdotal, anecdotal evidence instead of she used some facts, but just to appeal to people like, hey,
I'm just like, to try to get people on her side.
I don't think the bar was set pretty high when it comes to that. When it comes to her speaking, I believe the last debate with Biden set it really low. So I believe she did a lot better than Biden. But that's pretty much what I got.
And they're both old. Biden is old. Trump is old. We need to get some young folks in there that knows, have an idea of what's going on now. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, it was several times where he kept referring to her as they. He almost didn't even address her. He kept saying Biden. He didn't say her name at all.
Yeah, or that's your boss. Basically, that's your boss. You're just doing what Biden wants to do.
Yeah, and it does make you wonder, right? Because it's kind of he's saying stuff y'all just ousted him, and I'm like, that's not what happened. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if that is what happened? And now she's the figurehead, so it's difficult to jump on board 100% because you do kind of you've seen it. We've lived through now, multiple elections, and we've seen how they turned out. So as a person, I do think she's a better person than he is overall character-wise. And that's why, more people I think are leaning towards her. I don't know if that 100% means she'll do a better job in the office.
Final question on Harris in this debate then. From what you've seen so far, put your hand up if you think she's strong enough. Keep your hand down if you've got doubts whether she's strong enough. So put your hand up if you think Harris is strong enough.
Yes. I think she's strong enough. Yeah, just enough. Yeah. Just enough. Yeah.
Is that strength that everybody see in the beginning, is it going to last throughout her 4 years?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She looked good against Mr. Trump. I don't know, I didn't see it. But when you had to face these other leaders from these other countries, are you going to have what it takes to stand there and throw punches like they throw a punch?
Yeah.
I'm hearing more doubts from those who
Those are all Democrats that are saying this. Why? Because they're not fooled. The hypocrites. I call them the hypocrites because they are the party of hypocrisy, to quote Evan Baker as well. I've been saying it forever. They think that they can fool the American people just by throwing these fancy, nonsensical, non sequitur, magician-esque type of word salad nothingnesses around. And they think American people go, wow, she really knows. They think they're just going to nod their head and be like, well, there are some, don't get me wrong. But most true blue hardworking Americans can see right through that. And we're seeing it time and time again. And listen to this Democrat right here.
Tommy, how are you feeling about the election? Who are you going to vote for and why?
I'm going to vote for Donald Trump this year. I am typically Democrat. I've voted Democrat every year until Donald Trump ran for office. This year and in the past, I voted for Donald Trump. The reasons has been economical primarily. 3.5 years ago, I made more money. I paid less taxes. Gas prices were cheaper. Now, everything has tripled, including grocery prices. I can go to Subway to get a $7 sandwich for 6 inches now. That used to be half that price, $3. So everything is doubled. My grocery prices doubled. I'm concerned about the border. We've let millions of people in, a lot of criminals, etc. The border needs to be shut down to where we only bring in those individuals that go through a legal process. And when Democrats were running for office like they're proposing now, they have this proposal of new homeowners getting a stipend of money to buy a house. Well, nothing is free. That means that if we give out more money, my taxes are going to go up to pay for those new owners.
Oh, right.
So I'm going to live
a lot of issues
with a lot of less money every year just because they're giving it away to other people.
Okay, so a lot of issues.
They both have track records. He was president 4 years ago. 4 years ago, compare that situation to the last 5 years. They both have track records. Take away the personal stuff. Take away the misinformation, disinformation, the quotes that have been taken out of context, the attack by the far woke left media who have literally taken everything Trump said out of context and produced TDS on a massive scale. Take away everything else. Just look at the 4 years side by side. 4 years with Trump. How did I do? How were my taxes? How was my How was the economy? How was border safety? How did I feel about taking my kids on vacation? Could I afford that gas? Versus now. She keeps saying, turn the page. We're not going back. What does that mean? We're not going back. We're not going back to when I could actually afford to take my kids on vacation? When I didn't have to decide between my pet and my kids? When I could actually feel safe? When I didn't have illegal migrants invading my hometown and taking over in the millions and millions? I mean, what does that mean? We're not going back. What are we not going back? You've had 4 years, and on top of everything else, she lied to the American people about the cognitive mental state of tombstone vegetable-in-chief Joe Biden. Why didn't she? This is a question that should have been pressed to her, not only by David Muir and all the woke media, but I think Trump missed this opportunity too. He should have turned to her, look her straight in the face and say, Madam Vice President, you were around this guy for 4 years straight. Why didn't you tell the American people that this guy was losing it and losing it bad? You cannot tell me that after one debate is when the light finally went on. Because if you say that, that shows you don't have the perceptiveness, the mental acuity, the ingenuity, the perceptiveness to be the President of the United States, the highest executive in the land. Perhaps the answer is we should just do what Roger, this man who phoned in, who's a Democrat, said that he's going to do on November 5th. Check this out.
Roger in Kansas on the line for Democrats. Good morning, Roger.
Yes, I have my main issue. I'm going to close my eyes, and then I'm going to vote for closed borders. I'm going to vote for less taxes. I'm going to vote for more reasonable energy costs. And if you vote, close your eyes and vote that way, it's a pretty simple choice because both candidates have a history. So you just vote on that, and I don't have to tell you who I'm voting for.
Sounds good to me, Roger. Seems pretty simple, practical, and just, like Trump always says, it just seems like common sense. I really, really want you to share this video with everybody you know. I want you to tap the thumbs up. It's not for me. It's not for vanity. It's free. It takes you less than a second. Do it right now. When you tap the thumbs up, it sends a message to the algorithm. Hey, people like this video, so it pushes it out to more video. We need to inform our fellow citizens. When you have an informed citizenry, you have informed society. And when you have an informed society, they make informed decisions, especially at the ballot box. So let me know, what are your thoughts in the comments? I really like what Roger just said at the end, and I feel for all my fellow Americans who are suffering under these Biden-Harris policies. What do you think? I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment. Please don't leave any links because links go directly to spam. Tell me your story. Tell me your thoughts. I want to know 2 specific things. What are your thoughts on the economy? Do you think that you were better off 4 years ago or you're better off now? That's what I want to hear from you. So please let me know. I can't wait to hear from you. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. Follow and subscribe over there. Your sure-proof way to never miss out is to sign up for our free newsletter. It's free in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.